challenges that comes with being in the public eye, especially at your scale, is sort of being a societal punching bag.
Mhm.
I again think about this all the time because you reach a certain level of fame, of notoriety, and it is inevitable.
Mm.
It's just inevitable and it's gonna happen. You can't do anything like it's just what happens.
Mm.
How do you deal with that?
Um, I do and I don't, I'd say. I think that, it's part of the long journey that I've had of, like, I guess that's where, like, the tough skin aspect comes in,
Mhm.
but I'd be lying to you if I said I haven't fallen victim to, like,
Of course.
"Oh my god," like, "that sucks," that's, like, a narrative, or, like, "That's just so not true," or, "That's not who I am." Like, there's definitely a frustration, and me, again, being a control freak or being someone who, like, everybody wants to be understood,
Mhm.
and to feel like I wanna live a private life, but then that also kinda means sometimes not having control over a narrative or
Mhm.
maybe giving space for someone else to create the narrative, that can get kind of frustrating to feel like, "Oh, that's a misunderstanding," or like, "You've completely misunderstood me," and, you wanna, like, you wanna, like, almost respond to everything or, like, try and prove people wrong, but
Yes.
I've learned my lesson, and especially as I get older, with stuff like that is, like, staying, like, level and being authentic to, like, exactly who you are and knowing your worth and knowing who you are, and then being able to sit back and, like, take the high road in a way and be like, "You know what? What's the point in addressing something that's, 1, not even true, and then 2, like, not gonna change anything even if I do." I think that that's almost been my power, is, like, being able to sit back and be comfortable with it at this
Mhm.
point and be like, anybody who needs to know who I am will know who I am, and anybody who really matters to me or who comes close to me, like, they'll see, and I almost kinda love the, like, proving people wrong, or, like, people might walk into it being like, "I have an idea of this because of what I've seen on the
Absolutely.
internet," and then being pleasantly surprised is, like, I'm cool with that, like, I'm happy to be. I'm also, like, such a Scorpio, I'm like, I don't wanna give everybody everything, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So, when someone means something to me and something feels really special or sacred to me, like, I'm really happy that they get to experience that version of me, and
totally.
it feels almost special to that person as well.
Mhm.
So, I can't give you, like, a straight up answer of, like, what has helped me or what has changed things or what has fixed, I don't know, whatever, but I think that it's a long process. It is years. I am 28, this journey started when I was 10, and,
Yeah.
like, I think that it's been a really long time for me to get to where I am now, and it's never gonna be. There's never, like, an end to the, like, process of healing or the process of, like, figuring out your way, like, it's always, I don't know, changing and evolving and
Absolutely.
whatever, yeah.
So, let's get into modeling a bit.
Okay.
I think a lot of people romanticize it and are like, "This is the dream, like, this is the dream job," like,
Mm.
just being beautiful and getting to wear these beautiful clothes and doing all these things, but as with all things, there's incredible elements such as, why people romanticize the line of work, but then there's also, you know, challenges with it that I think are less considered, and I'm curious to hear what have been sort of the parts of modeling that are maybe the most romanticized that don't maybe match that in reality. In the sense, like, not to shit on modeling at all as a in any way or to shit on the experience or to, like, take away from the magic that I can imagine that career path can bring, but more to sort of just shed light on the reality of it for the sake of proving to people that the grass is always greener.
Yeah,
Do you know
well,
what I'm saying?
I think it definitely goes without saying that, like, there is hair and makeup and lighting on, like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yes.
the physical of it is not always that way, right? Like, I think
Mhm.
that's with anybody, anything, and I think that you're in the best hands most of the time, and you're in, like, the best setting for your, like, physical and all
Totally.
the things. And so I think that when it comes to, like, someone on a cover of a magazine or, like, in an editorial, they're gonna, like, probably, it's not always that perfect and that shiny.
Totally.
So there's that, but I think that kinda goes without saying, and I think that as for romanticizing it, look, I'm not gonna sit here and say that I've had, like, a, a really like, I've had the toughest journey and,
Mhm.
all those things. I think I've been extremely fortunate. But
Mhm.
I also have had, my own set of challenges, and whether that be, whether it's overworked or whether it's not getting a job that I would have really loved to get. I think that something that is to be said about anyone who would want to get into it, or that has any idea of it is a lot of, like, self-love, like a big self-love
Yeah, that's what I
journey.
was gonna
Like,
ask about.
yeah, it's like it's very you have to have such a strong relationship with yourself to be able to go into it, because it can be cutthroat, and it can be like you are sometimes like, "Oh my god, why didn't I am I not, enough for this job," or
Mhm.
whatever. So there are those moments, or, people also in the industry can be really, like, tough or blunt or brutal, and so I think there's those types of things for sure. But again, I'm so grateful. I've had, like, a really, beautiful experience, and again,
Mhm.
came with some of its challenges as well.
I think a lot of people, myself included, would have assumed, like, "Oh, this is probably the confidence boost of a lifetime." Like, this being your career path or whatever,
Yeah.
being able to do that. But then I think the truth of the matter is it's like you're in this sort of business of just looking a certain way in a way, and
Yeah.
it's like, in a lot of ways, I think, you do have to figure out how to put your worth elsewhere,
Yeah.
and I don't know how in the world a young
A young
woman could
girl, yeah.
possibly manage that.
Yeah, I think that it also is a lot of, like, I think that it's a lot of having, like, great people around you, a great support
Mhm,
system, and, great family, great friends, and again, for anyone who would ever wanna do it, I think is literally having a great relationship with yourself, enough to be able to go home at the end of the night and still, like, look yourself in the mirror and be happy and love yourself. I think
mhm.
that that's the biggest thing, and yeah.
It's also lonely, I've
Oh
heard
my
through the
god,
grapevine
yeah.
about, like,
Very.
you're very young, a
Yeah.
lot of the times, like, 16, 17, 18, 19, and you're traveling around alone
Yeah.
for the most part.
Yeah, I was, it is very lonely. Like, I've had really, dark nights where I've been in, kind of random cities and just hysterically crying myself to sleep because I hadn't
Yeah.
been home in 3 months and I've been pretty much alone the entire time, or I'm on a job and something really, crazy happens at home that I would love to be there for, and
Mhm.
I'm being told I can't be, and, like, just there's been a lot of, definite moments where I'm like, "What is going on? Like, is this
Yes.
all worth it?" And then,
Yes.
when I look back on the time that I've had with it so far, it is a really beautiful thing to be able to travel the world the way I have. I probably would have never traveled the way I have,
Totally.
or the amount that I have, had I not had this job. I've met really amazing people. A
Mhm.
lot of my friends are because of this job. A lot of cool creative people, a lot of, like, inspiration in my life is, like,
Mhm.
all because of my job. So I feel very grateful for it. I feel very grateful for my experience and for having a relatively really good experience. I feel really grateful because I have heard, a lot of stories from friends of mine and people that I
Yeah.
know and peers and stuff that haven't.
What's, like, your grounding routine when you're traveling a lot? Like, especially, you know, maybe during, like, peak travel times with
Mm,
modeling? Like,
yeah.
what was your sort of grounding routine?
I don't think I had the tools I have now. I think a lot of it was obviously friends, and then also I had friends in the industry, like really good friends who I knew before
Yeah,
as well. So I think that was really helpful, was my friends being around,
totally.
because it didn't feel so lonely. But I think that now, when feeling overwhelmed or feeling like I need that kind of grounding experience, like if I'm away,
Mhm,
I'm a water sign. So
mhm,
and water naturally is a cleanser. So, like, I
mhm.
believe in, like, cleansing my body any way I can. So if I'm, like, overwhelmed or I'm out, like, I wanna go stand in a shower if that's my closest form to water.
Interesting.
I wanna go, like, cleanse my body, cleanse my soul, like, even in a bathtub, like, a
Yeah,
bath is really good, put my heart underwater and, like, just, like, chill. Those are, like, really good tactics for me to, like, soften myself and, like,
interesting.
release. But, like, if I'm away for a few weeks and I'm, like, doing the shower thing, but then, like, eventually I'm able to have some free time, like, I wanna run to a beach, I wanna run to a lake, like, I wanna
Totally.
just, like, submerge myself in water. So that's been, like, a cleansing journey that I've been on. But, I mean, I have so many things. I think that also, like, turning off my mind as best as I can, so,
Mhm.
like, putting my phone down is, like, a big thing, or going for a walk, or
How do you not obsess over the phone? Like, do you have
I don't know, man, like like, I'm not perfect, and
No.
I fall victim to it all the time,
Well, I
so
just had to take, like, an extreme measure,
mhm.
which I'll even tell you
I
more
was
about
gonna say I
after
wanna
this, because I
know.
have to, like it's like a full, like, experience, but I just got a second phone.
Okay.
So I have one phone that has, like, all social media on it,
Yeah.
and also just, like, any app I don't want on my phone, like, it has Postmates on it, it
Mhm.
has DoorDash, it has every social media app, it has YouTube, it has all the sort of entertainment, it has, like, you know, the Netflix, the Hulu, the
Yeah, yeah,
Max,
yeah.
it has all it's basically I've named it because you can name your each phone,
Oh,
each
yeah.
device, the bad phone. And then I
Okay.
have the good phone, which I bring around with me every day, and it has, like, all the stuff I need for work on it.
Wait, did you come up with this, or did someone, like, give you this advice?
This totally exists somewhere, however,
Oh,
I did ultimately come up with it. I was
I like
like
this idea.
it's completely excessive in the sense that now I have 2 phones
Yeah,
ultimately, which
yeah,
is
yeah.
wild,
A
but
little annoying.
it's totally annoying, but
But I like this
I
idea.
love it. It's
Yeah.
literally I've not been on Instagram, like, doom scrolling in
Well,
over a
it becomes
week.
an addiction, no? Like,
Oh, I was fully addicted. That's why I did this.
that's something that I practice a lot is, like, when I feel myself, like, I go to grab my phone and I'm like, "I don't need to do this." I'm like, "I'm with my friends," or I'm,
Yeah.
like, watching this game, or, like, "Why am I craving this right now?" So then I just put it back down.
I was so bad about it that, like, to me also too, I almost had this, like, anxious, like, obsessive sort
Mm,
of trait about it where I'd be like, "I need to check to make sure everything's okay.
yeah.
This is my job. I have to check." And it's
Yeah.
like, if something's going wrong,
You're gonna find out
I'm
about
gonna
it.
find out.
Yeah.
So I need to let this control go, and
Yeah.
that's been the hardest thing about it, like, obviously, I like to see what people are up to, and I get, like, super everybody has their own, like, stalking journey, like, whatever. It's like like, you start on the explore page, and next thing you know, you're on, like, your middle school best
Yeah.
friends page, and
I
it's like
I know someone who, is, pretty well known and doesn't have social media at
yeah,
all, and I asked her, I was like or someone else asked her, I was in the room, they were like, "Wait, what? You don't have social media? Like, how do you know, like, the news? Like, how do you know
yeah,
what's going on?" And she's like, "If it's big enough, I'll hear about it. Like, I don't need social media to know what's going on." So I do kind of agree that it's kind of a silly excuse to be like, "I need to know what's going on." Like, you don't
yes,
need to know because you will find out.
you will find out.
But I also, I think I sometimes almost it's my messages that overwhelm me more than social media sometimes.
Mm,
I am on social media, but I wouldn't say I'm that crazy on it. Like, I'm not
that's
on it
amazing.
all the time. It's more like messages for me. Like, I think I have a lot of work stuff, but I'm also like, my friends chatting and group chats and the whole thing. And so I'm silencing everything. I need to start doing do
Yes.
not disturb. I haven't gotten there yet.
Whoa, I've been on Do Not Disturb for 4
No,
years.
I know. I haven't done that yet, and I need to get into it. I think it would be good for me because I
Mhm.
feel like I like having 0 messages.
Oh,
Are
same.
you that girl? Okay. I
Yes.
like having 0 messages, so I feel like I need to answer everybody.
Yeah.
But why do we feel obligated? That's not normal to have for someone to have access to you 24/7 is not normal. It's
Mhm.
not how, like, like, that's
That's
not human
another
nature.
thing I did with the second phone.
Yeah.
2 numbers. So one number that is, like, the one on my phone constantly that's just, you know, this is all still a work in progress, but it's, like, right now, it's literally just my parents and, like,
Yeah.
like, the
Yeah.
closest, like, 4 people to me who, like,
Yeah.
need my contact and then work people.
Yeah.
And then the other phone is, like, it's everyone else because I also feel this sort of pressure at times where, maybe you'll have, like, 4 people who are like, "Hey, let's hang out." And it's like, that can cause a lot of anxiety when you're not in
Mhm.
the headspace to be handling it and when you're,
Yeah.
like, already overwhelmed with your life, maybe through work or whatever, or from work or whatever, and then now all of a sudden, you just can't always
I'm very
manage
easily overwhelmed.
me as well.
Very easily
And
overwhelmed.
it's not even anything personal to
No.
anyone, the fact that I'm like, "Okay, I need these 2 numbers because I need to be able to have these other
Yeah.
conversations at a time when I can actually give my full self to it."
Totally.
And that has been really interesting. Like, you know, I always have 0 notifications on
Yeah.
my main phone and,
Yeah.
and those are really the things I need to know immediately. Everything
Yeah.
else can wait 8 hours,
Yeah.
24 hours, even
Yeah.
48, and it's just not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
So, I don't know,
But it's
maybe
like we
try the
feel
2
no, I
phones.
might. I actually
It's
really like
kind of
this
a
idea.
vibe.
But yeah, definitely the thing of, like, reassuring yourself, like, "Oh, this doesn't need to be answered right away." Like, I think
Yeah.
people also expect you. I expect my friends, I'm like, "Hey, when I hit you," like, I expect my
Totally.
friends to reply. So, you know I don't like that expectation on me, so I don't want to expect that from anyone else either. I think that
Totally.
we need to be able to, like, loosen up a little bit.
Yeah.
For me, it's messages that overwhelm me a little bit more.
Um, Speaking of day-to-day routine look like to sort of, like, keep the anxiety low? Like, you know, when from morning to night, what are the different things that you integrate? You already mentioned sort of like the water tactic of like
Mhm.
getting in water. Um, but you know, do you read books a lot? Like, do you have like, a meditation that you do? Like, what does your day look like for anxiety prevention, if you will?
For a long time, I thought it was do the meditation, which I believe in
Yep.
meditation, and I believe that it is very helpful. Do the meditation, do the, all the like actual, like real things. I think sometimes it's as simple as, and it's kind of what we were just talking about, is like managing what can cause, like knowing what can cause it and trying to find your boundaries with it,
Mhm.
manage it, not do it at all. Like things like we're talking about the phone, things like me getting, like, overwhelmed with messages. Okay, if I'm feeling overwhelmed with messages that aren't necessary to
Mhm.
respond to right now, maybe it is about putting my phone away for a second
Mhm.
and literally going for a 15-minute walk or
Yep.
literally making cookies or, like,
Yeah.
actually watching maybe, like, a cartoon for a second to
Yeah.
just, like, calm my nervous
Yeah.
system. I don't know, whatever it looks like for you. I think it's, like I said, not a one size fits all journey, and I think it's so much about finding what calms your nervous system and recognizing it, putting it in, like, a notepad somewhere and being like, "Okay, these are
Mhm.
things that calm me, these are things that make me worse or give me anxiety
Mhm.
or make me feel overwhelmed," and trying to then navigate, like, "Okay, how can I kind of avoid these things or find boundaries with these things, and how can I gravitate more towards the things that make me feel good?" So,
It's more intuitive, I think, than
yeah.
like a structural. I've noticed that
Yeah.
too. Like, I almost have to handle my anxiety on a case by case basis.
Totally. It
It's
is.
like, okay, because I've tried to do things like, I mean, there are certain like, fundamental sort of parts of my day to day life that I know make me
Are
more
helpful.
anxious or
So
or are helpful.
totally. So, for
Yeah.
example, like, I think waking up in the morning, and I am not perfect with this. I can't
Hmm.
say that every morning I do this,
Hmm.
but waking up in the morning and not immediately looking at my phone and
Changes the
scrolling,
game.
a lot of what it is so much overstimulation. So,
Yep.
it's like a lot of too much information for our brain to even process.
Yep.
And especially scrolling like TikTok, like we're not meant to see that much information that quickly. I'm going from crying because something was so cute and sad
Yeah.
to like hysterically crying laughing because
Yeah.
something was so funny. Like I don't know if we're supposed to feel those two things within a span of 30 seconds
Yeah.
or we're not used to it at least. I don't know.
Chip. I know I've